welcome back to the LEC in this new interview location as we gear up for a match of the week, KC versus Fnatic. And I have Reha, head coach of KC, with me to talk about this game and the comeback of KC yesterday. Thank you so much for joining me. Very first LEC interview.
Yeah.
Congratulations for the promotion.
Thanks a lot. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a new position with a new audience, you know, like a lot of people that are probably watching the LEC right now. But I mean, I'm focused on what we need to do good as a team and as a coaching staff, you know, to make sure that the team can perform, you know, right now. So, yeah.
I mean, I've known you for a while, Reha. We'll talk about this later because you've been coaching KC actually in the LFL. It must be really different here. But first things first, victory yesterday. A bit of a change compared to winter, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a really important match, not going to lie. I think we needed to perform and to make sure that we come ready against Giantess. It's not the best team, right? But it's still a team that can defeat us if we are not playing well. And I'm really proud of everyone, you know, the staff and the players. Like, they did exactly what they need to do to win yesterday. And now we focused on the next game against Fnatic. So, yeah.
Tell me about Fnatic then, because they're one of the best teams we have right now in the league. I think this is the perfect test for you guys to make sure that you're on the right track.
Yeah, exactly. I think Fnatic is for sure a good team. I think like they don't have any like clear weaknesses. That's one of their strengths. I think every one of the players can carry the game, and obviously I think like what we have to be focusing on is what we're doing laning phase and how we playing all together as like main jungle support. And how to pressure the map. I think that's pretty much what we need to do. And after that, we can focus on ourselves. The results are the results. And Fnatic is a good team, but we can be a good team too.
Well, wishing you a good day for the Blue Wall and a lot of luck on the Rift for you guys today. Reha, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup for the interview. And let's see what Kai'Sa and Sjokz think about Fnatic not having really mistakes. What do you think, guys?
Oh, I don't know. Indeed, I am joined here by Kai'Sa. I'm going to ask him that question. You're going to see him in just a second. Hi, Kai'Sa. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a while since I've been on the broadcast, but it's good to be back. I think the last time I was on the broadcast was when I came on the World's Analyst desk with the Weibo shirt. Yeah. Yes. Now I've changed sides.
Yeah, and we miss you. But hey, first, before I get to asking about analytical things, didn't Kamito save you yesterday on your stream because you couldn't cast and he was casting, or what happened?
Yeah, somehow my stream heard his stream, even though there was no audio coming out of my stream. So on the back end, something like put Kamito on my stream, and then he started casting the game in English. So I couldn't hear him, so I was like, what's going on? And my whole stream was listening to Kamito cast in English, so thank you, Kamito.
So there we go. But of course, you do represent Fnatic here. Are there any weaknesses, or what are the biggest things you think Fnatic cannot drop the ball on versus KC specifically?
They don't have too many weaknesses. I think lane phase for Oscar was a bit rough in playoffs last split, but he looks a lot cleaner this time around. But other than that, I think Razork's like the MVP of that team. So just follow Razork and everything will be fine.
Speaking of, Bo yesterday was absolutely insane as well, so...
Yeah, but Bo's a psychopath, so like, you know, he's just gonna he's gonna get loads of kills, but maybe he's gonna int, so if Bo ints, then just kill him. He's like Hylissang a little bit, I think, sometimes, yeah.
That's what you think, okay. When it comes to KC though, I mean, I think I definitely would want to see them win more. Maybe you don't want to see them win right now, but who could make the difference, or who will have to make the difference if you say Fnatic doesn't have a lot of weakness?
I think if any player on K Corp needs to step up, not in the sense of like step up the most, but like really can carry them, it's Upset. I remember casting Upset at Worlds in New York, and he was 2v2 killing T1's bot lane. Yeah. So to be 10th place like a couple years later sucks. But yeah, I think I'd keep my eyes on Upset. But Noah and Jun have been strong. They've been really strong, so I think they'll shut him down.
All right, thank you so much, Kai'Sa. It's time for our match of the week delivered by Uber Eats.
K Corp wasn't playing that terrible. The fact that they started tier 3 like got into their heads.
I think this format is very momentum based, and having a difficult week 1 like we had in Winter Split definitely puts more pressure if you start off slow. It's not going to be any different this time, but we can't use that as an excuse.
He was playing really good when he was playing with me at World, like solo killing Guma, Carrion.
Guma usually pops the old upset. Oh my god! Fnatic! Scream bot dip!
I feel like he's trying to put a lot of effort in getting his team better and better, but he just didn't find any success.
Usually this team plays a lot through their mid jungle, and especially Razork. I think he has reached a new level, and he's a very good player.
The 50-50 win becomes lightning. Razork finds his way into the panic, takes the Baron!
I'm looking forward to beat him again.
We don't need any more motivation. I just want to win.
Hello and welcome back to the match of the week. I'm Medic, this is Dagda. Together we are I always forget that I can't say your half of the name first when I do our duo. So we're Medda.
Yeah.
Megda?
Megda,
sure.
Yeah.
That kind of works. We haven't cast together that much, actually.
We've only done it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So actually,
it's nice
fair.
to have you here.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. And we're looking forward to the series, obviously. Karmine Corp taking on Fnatic. Both of the teams coming off a win yesterday. Blue side has won every single game but one so far in the LEC Spring Split. Only G2 breaking the curse. Obviously, you could say the teams on the blue side have just generally looked stronger and have been better, and I think that kind of rings true throughout the course of the weekend, but we'll see if it continues to ring true here, as Fnatic do have blue, and they'll ban Volleybest, Senna, and Vi. Varus, Kai'Sa, and Smolder, thank goodness, taken away by Karmine Corp.
Yeah, no pentakills coming through at the moment off the Smolder, but on the opposite side, it was always going to be a toss-up between Taliyah and Orianna. They're kind of rising as the queens in the mid lane with Azir taking his hiatus, so not surprised to see that one taken. Maybe we get the Taliyah in response here, or you can end up just going for something like a strong jungler, or guarantee this area for yourself, especially with, as you say, so much attention towards the AD carry pool.
I mean, I really wouldn't mind a Zeri Taliyah. You know, you get the Zeri, you get Taliyah as well, you have good scaling. You can avoid the flex Taliyah for Razork, because obviously he did play a lot of Taliyah over the course of his career, but we'll see where Karmine Corp go. Zeri already locked in for upset.
Yeah, you could try and take away the Xin Zhao here if you really wanted to say like, hey, we just don't want the Ori Xin Zhao coming together. Maybe you just want to go towards the Sejuani and make sure that's all going to be fine as well. Like, there's a lot of opportunities here, and yeah, it will just be the Sejuani. So I feel now if you could end up taking like a strong... you could also respond with jungle here, but there's a lot of flexibility in the jungle. I think you actually just take a strong bot lane here, make the Zeri uncomfortable, go something like a Nautilus, pair with your AD carry, and then when you get into that next rotation, you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place with Karmine Corp. Do we answer mid, or do we risk Taliyah and stuff being banned away, or do we end up being in a position where we struggle with our support pick instead?
Yeah, I think you really have to go AD carry here, though, as you said, because otherwise, Smolder, Kai'Sa, Varus already banned away, Senna banned away, you're just going to lose everything. Kai'Sa locked in. We are seeing a lot of the AP Kai'Sa build, where you go Manamune into Liandry's into Crypt Bloom. Very powerful if you can get to those 3 items. So we'll see where Fnatic decide to go. With the AP in the mid lane already, maybe we'll see more of a traditional AD carry Kai'Sa here.
Yeah, I think with the, as you say, the amount of AP that you're going to get with the Orianna as well, I think just going something like the Clips build, which gives you a lot of that AP still, but you at least get a little bit more of that AD style. Probably work out well here, but Braum going to be taken here to kind of become the answer to the Nautilus, and double Freljord is always a really nice take here for this squad.
Yeah, Permafrost and Concussive Blows, such a powerful combination, especially early on in the game. I have been noticing a trend of just more CC tends to win on the LEC stage, and you already have a lot of CC if you are KC here. They're going to get rid of the Cassante. Oscar has played that 7 times this year, if I recall correctly. Only 2 times on his next most played champion. I believe it was the Gwen. So getting him off something that is comfortable in the top lane definitely makes sense. Way taken away from Saken in mid. It's the only thing he's played so far in spring. And it also means you don't just have a mid laner that can farm from range, that can auto-clear waves with QE, the Molten Fisher. Makes it a little bit trickier for Saken to play in that lane, but still things like the Ahri available to him if he wants something that's just, you know, a utility clearing mage that does also have some damage to back it up.
Yeah, I think the fact that you already have the Sejuani, I think you need to go with a little bit more damage, which is with the Taliyah taken away. I'm kind of curious what they do decide to go for. Like, the Ahri, I like when you have setup from your jungle, but it's going to be the Aurelion Sol. So Aurelion Sol did get some nice buffs coming into this over the last couple of patches since we last played LEC. Even had to get nerfed a little bit because of how strong he was performing. It was like changes to having to play a bit more aggressive on his Q to get those stacks. So curious to see now how Bo can facilitate Saken in that regard. But immediately on the opposite side, Fnatic are going to take the Rell into the jungle for Razork. It's going to become a staple for him with how good he is at controlling the early game and the pace of the game on this champion. And then Oscarinin going for the immediate Aatrox, so maybe we get something like an R in the top side here for Cabochard if you really want to, or you could even just try fight fire with Renekton, but that's such a volatile matchup. I'm not sure if you want to go for it, but there it is. Yeah, Renekton going to be taken.
So changes buffs to his Q, slightly nerfed from how strong it was when the buffs came in, but still stronger than it previously was, so still a overall buffs to his W as well, the Astral Flight,
and his E got nerfed.
To his, nerfs to his E, was it?
Yeah, his E got nerfed. Well, the stacking on his E got nerfed because they basically wanted to say, hey, look, you actually have to play aggressive on the champion more, rather than just sitting back and farming. So
it's a lot of sense. So here we have both team compositions locked in. On the side of Fnatic, you have a really good AoE team fighting comp. You know, that Rell is jumping in and Orianna Shockwave to follow up. You've got the Kai'Sa who can dash in and out of the fights. I like the amount of crowd control they have as well, but so do Karmine Corp. Maybe a little bit more on upset to be able to dodge in and out of these fights. Aurelion Sol tends to just put the ultimate down and then chuck the Star Surge at someone and hope that person dies, whereas upset can be dancing in and out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think for Karmine Corp this is going to be a test because it's very much a team that wants to, hey, protect the backline. Like, let's set up a defensive circle of Renekton, Sejuani and Braum, just keeping people out so Asok can do his thing. Zeri will find she can kind of keep pace with herself, but what we've seen from Karmine Corp hasn't been that, right? It's been very separated. So I think if you end up in that position, Fnatic, as you say, with the amount of engage and follow-up damage coming through from the Orianna, she'll be able to pick Karmine Corp apart if they don't set up that defensive style.
I think Fnatic's team fighting as well has looked stronger than Karmine Corp's over the last, I'd say, a month or two, you know, over 2024. So we'll see how we manage to navigate team fights as we get on into the game. Match of the week, Karmine Corp versus Fnatic coming up. Both the teams coming out to wins yesterday, but not against the toughest opposition. We saw games against Giant X, and then obviously Fnatic beat out Rogue, so I think this is really both teams' biggest test, or big test, coming into spring.
Yeah, I think for Karmine Corp as well, it's just a lot of, hey, how do we try and play around a lot of our duos in the early stages? Like, you've got Bo, who can facilitate very well for Cabochard. Like, the W on Cabochard automatically procs the permafrost, so it makes it very easy then for Bo to be able to set up for plays potentially around Oscarinin, who I think honestly has been a bit of a weak point for Fnatic since playoffs. Whereas on Fnatic, it feels very much a, hey, we can actually play around our mid jungle incredibly well, lean into our bot side, which is kind of where they found their most comfort. So we'll be curious to see how they decide to try and play this without his Humanoid. Already going to take a few low taps off of Cabo.
The command attack just giving him the vision in the bush means he can step forward, puts the ward down to spot out those razor beaks. Noah is running lethal tempo, very much implying that he will go down the AD route on the Kai'Sa, or at least more of a hybrid route than that pure magic damage build we were talking about in draft. Expectations are that Bo and Cabochard will want to shut Oscar down in the early game. As you said, the synergy with the melee top and the Sejuani, very powerful. Will Upset and Targamas be able to weather any storm that Razork can put down towards the bottom lane, though? Because Razork has been so good at tracking the enemy jungler, but also finding gank opportunities for himself.
Yeah, it's kind of been a, hey, get Razork and Humanoid play together, like get that lead in mid and then transition to bot. Like we saw a lot yesterday with the Talia, where they were really good at roaming down and even turning down one of the rogue dives and making sure that you get 3 kills onto Humanoid as that game started to progress. So I think that's where we'll see a lot of attention, especially as you start to creep over towards like level 6, where you get a ton of engage, a lot of follow-up damage. But at the moment, Saken going to do a reasonably good job of trading here against Humanoid as he starts to stack up that passive damage.
Getting all that Stardust, obviously just scale all of his abilities. There's not a break point you're looking for on the Aurelion Sol. Apart from when you have your ultimate, then you need to get 75 Stardust to and evolve it and, you know, enhance it to give it that big
it's more about when
damage.
he breaks you versus hitting a break point.
Yeah, true. Poke gonna land in the bot lane as Jun goes in. Targamas and Upset tick over to level 6. Jun gonna get stunned up with concussive blows, and the unbreakable means the trade is good for KC. Now, both the junglers around mid. Flash, stun doesn't land. Saken has the time to flash away. Humanoid locked up in that singularity. Razork next up on the menu as there's the CC. No flash, remember, on this Rell, but Saken falls down to 150 and has to back away. Razork gets back on his horse and gallops his way out of the mid lane.
Yeah, Bo just going to stick around to make sure you can actually crash this wave now for Saken, because otherwise Humanoid, with the slight health advantage and also having the shield, would be able to put a good amount of pressure on. But, I mean, nice turnaround gank. Saken did have to burn his flash, but if you're Fnatic, I think that just opens up an opportunity to try and repeat gank here, especially as Saken, if he wants to try and play aggressive and play forward, will be very vulnerable in that mid lane.
Razork not running Hex Flash on the Rell this game, though, so doesn't have as many avenues to approach that mid lane, not as many ways into it. I wonder if we'll see Bo trying to focus around mid a little bit more just to get Humanoid's flash out. Orianna very susceptible to ganks when she doesn't have that summoner. Very low mobility mid laner. Really only walk around on her 2 feet. Gets a little bit of a movement speed from the command dissonance as well. And maybe Bo just looks for a repeat, puts a ward in, and instead decides to back away.
Yeah, not going to do too much. Neither jungler had actually reset, so just trying to clear out what they can and then look for the reset themselves. So imagine Bo will finish off his bottom side here, reset, and then go back into his top camps as it's starting to come up. And a little bit of a different path in here for Razork, because you can see like he's left up his blue, left up his raptors as well. So he's going to take the top camp, finish blue, I imagine, then reset, clear raptors, and then start to move up towards his top side of the camps as well again.
So took a bit of an eclectic path early on. Targamas here trying to hold this wave as Upset is on his way. He was able to slide through that bottom lane. And Zeri graced with many gifts in terms of getting back to the lane a little bit quicker than other AD carries can, so he'll be there to catch the wave. Not really too much to talk about in terms of lane advantages for anyone. Only that Summoner burnt for Saken on KC's side. Razork has burnt his flash, and Humanoid used the teleport to get back into the lane. So is Saken, so Honor's even in the mid lane. There's
a bit of a timing advantage here for Bo on that top side, though. He's got his reset in, he picked up the Kindle gem, whereas you haven't got that reset from Razork because his clear has been a little bit more eclectic. So I wasn't sure with Cabo had the wave pushing into him if he wanted to try and hold it there for Bo coming up, but actually ended up going for the shove. So not sure if they wanted to try and go just for the void grubs instead here.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's just a shove in to make sure we can get at least one grub on Bo. The first grub does give you an extra treat for your jungle pet. And often we will see junglers just look for the first one. If you can get more, great. That's, you know, perfect. And with the push in the top lane, Cabochard should be able to come over here and help Bo get it a little bit quicker, but doesn't even need to do that. Bo just wants the one, wants that treat, wants that extra XP. Per grub camp, you can get one treat, so likely see Razork coming over here later on to get one of those grubs as well.
Curious to see how you want to try and play this out, though, for KC, because you have a lot of information as to where Razork is. You saw Cabochard clearing out that top side Scar's Bloom, so they know that you have to have Razork on that bottom side. And with where the wave's positioned in that bot lane, you can see how aggressive the Nautilus is positioning here, just trying to zone Karmine Corp off the wave. Now the wave's pushing into them, they'll be able to take it, but it will open up and maybe an opportunity for Fnatic to play off of Razork, who's gone for the invade here.
Yeah, Razork was seen on a control ward though, and he cleared that out. So, like, Karmine Corp have perfect information that Razork is at least somewhere in this quadrant. Could have backed away, obviously, and you can see Bo hovering bot side like, well, that wave's pushed in, maybe a dive could happen. Now the bot side from Fnatic will step up. Razork does have a flank position here as Bo is locked up, rooted for the second, the dredge line going wide as Bo flashes away. Targamas looking to collapse, but the mid lane prio for Humanoid means that he can move a little bit quicker. Saken has to take the long way around, and Fnatic just force Karmine Corp away. Targamas a little bit too far forward here. Does have to stand beside me, but has to burn the flash. Upset had already gone back down towards the bottom lane to try and farm up, and the fight may continue as Cabochard is backing and will have a teleport to join the fight. Oscarinin has none. Razork jumping away. There's a shockwave on 2 as Bo falls low. Targamas with the Unbreakable. TP used by Cabochard, not in back up into the top lane, and because of that jump, able to get first blood. Bo falls low. Noah takes him, and now Saken has to get the hell out of there because he's outnumbered and outmanned. Fnatic get 2 kills in the fight.
Fnatic were just set up better. They had an easy front to back. That wall was zoning at Upset, couldn't really get into a position to really deal damage. So Fnatic able to focus onto the top half of Karmine Corp and just take them out. 2 kills now going across to Fnatic for that one.
Just really odds and ends for Karmine Corp. Kind of felt a little bit like they wanted to fight it, but then also they didn't want to fight it. Maybe just different players having different ideas exactly as to how the fight went down, and then Cabochard TPing it back up to the top lane as well, when perhaps he could have TP'd into the battle. Obviously would have had to go to a tower because we're pre-10 minutes, but he would have been able to join that fight if he had decided to go for a turret.
But you can see here, right, you've got 3 members of Karmine Corp that are fighting when Upset can't really get into a position to deal anything. He'll get a W over the wall, but everyone of Fnatic is getting a hit, whereas Upset manages to get an auto attack in over the course of the whole thing. And Noah nicely done just to flash forward there to finish off Bo, but it was just a very disjointed fight where Upset wasn't in a position to really deal the damage that he needed to.
You talked about how good Fnatic are at team fighting. Well, I think we see a great example of it there. Bo's going to come back up towards these topside grubs. Doesn't have the pressure in mid or bot to look for the Drake. Razork just went back to a clear, so 3 grubs in the end for KC. Does mean they are leading in terms of neutral objectives, but in terms of the bloody ones, it's Fnatic who are in the lead, and because of that, about 1,500 gold ahead as well.
Which is a bit alarming if you're Karmine Corp, to be honest, because what has been their success has been the early stages in a lot of their games, and then it's kind of been the mid-game where their team fights have started to slump. But now, Fnatic getting off to a nice start, feels like, again, they can kind of play through a lot of what has been their strength, which is playing for team fights, setting up Noah, allowing Razork and Humanoid to play off of mid-pressure into invades and looking for picks and skirmishes. So for Karmine Corp, you kind of need to set out your vision and make sure that you're trying to shut down Razork and Humanoid, because right now it's already been kind of playing off of these advantages in mid that they've been able to set up in those jungle fights.
It's things like the control ward that Saken's just walked past that give Fnatic all that extra information. Just a couple of bits of vision deep into the Karmine Corp jungle, making it so that although Karmine Corp think they're in the fog of war, Fnatic have all of this extra information to look to make plays. Hex Splash over here by Jun, Razork on the way as well. Bo still clearing out that blue buff, but already Targamas is caught out down to 200 HP, and he's just gonna fall. Jun, a bloodthirsty support this game, 2-0 already on the Nautilus.
And as you say, like on a vision, didn't realize it. Bo managed to sneak in here, but he will be spotted as soon as he tries to move out. But on the top end, Cabo, Oscarinin will be able to just step away from this.
Just dash away. Played his steel caps for both the top laners to start off, so unless someone dramatically oversteps, don't expect to see anyone
Saken
falling here. Shockwave has to be flashed by Saken, who was trying to cover his bot side, and
then exposed his own.
Yep.
We're moving to the Dragon area. Fnatic going to be able to pick that one up as well, because there's absolutely no one here on Karmine Corp to try and contest that. I think at this stage, if I'm Bo, I'm like, look, Dragon's going to go over. Maybe they even look for potential play on bot side, which I think is why Upset is going to reset. So try and look for a play on top side. You had a good trade. Oscarinin's fairly low, no TP for him as well. So see if you can blow open this top side here for Cabochard, where you can actually get some advantage there. And it looks like that might be exactly what he's trying to do here.
Bo going for the Knight's Vow early on as well. I've started to see a lot of talk about this. We see a lot of tank junglers go Knight's Vow first, and it looks like Razork's doing the same. It is just such a powerful item. The ability to haste armor and health giving you a lot. And now we see it coming to the fore as Bo kills off Oscarinin in the top lane. It seems like Karmine Corp agree with your strategy here, Rob.
Yeah, and then they're going to try and kill Humanoid as well.
Humanoid able to flash away just in time. Glacial Fissure just a little bit too late there. Though still being chased, concussive blows, one more auto, Humanoid falls low. He's not quite gonna die to the Ignite, but he falls instead to the Singularity. Jun on the chase, the Riptide, not enough to kill off Saken, and Karmine Corp start to answer back with 2 kills of their own.
Yeah, nicely done by Karmine Corp. I mean, you get the kill on top side, you get the kill onto Humanoid. Saken just able to escape, but you also get the execute for Saken, so up to 93 stacks now coming through for him. He's in a fairly decent spot, so overall, Karmine Corp at least getting some things back, but it is still Fnatic a lot of the times in the driver's seat, right? You're looking at Noah getting a good advantage of that bot lane because the kills, and now picking up some plates for himself as well. So if you are Fnatic, you can still play for a lot of these team fights off the advantages that you have picked up. I think for Karmine Corp, I want to see 1 or 2 more of these picks before I'm really like, okay, now they're starting to get control.
Cabochard looking to win out this top lane as Oscarinin is forced away. I totally agree with you, Rob. Coming back to the Knight's Vow point I was making before Bo so rudely interrupted me by getting a kill in the top lane. It's so powerful not only because of the raw stats and the accomplice passive it gives you, where if you tether it to someone, when they take damage, you take 10% of it, it balances out, and then you get some of their healing back. But also, it's on a 60-second cooldown. So if you're ganking once a minute, you can run into the lane, put it on the person in that lane, do the gank, get all of the benefits out of it, and then next gank, you just put it on someone in the other lane. So it's just so easy to utilize it effectively. It's not like when we saw it on supports when they just put it on one person for the entire game, usually the AD carry. Here, Bo can utilize it all across the map. Humanoid no flash, remember, here in the mid lane. Glacial Prison available for Bo, but Humanoid able to distract him enough so that he decides not to use it.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is Bo trying to set up for Void Groups, I should say, as he's starting to move up, but he's going to leave Saken very exposed on the bot side, who has no flash of his own, so that's where you're kind of seeing a bit of a lean back and forth from Karmine Corp to be like, can we clear mid? Okay, yeah, we kind of have cleared mid. Let's try and protect Saken on the bot side, but now we're leaving mid exposed, so it's a lot of back and forth here. So Saken at least able to clear out this wave, but they will end up losing just 1 turret plate in mid lane as Humanoid is able to take that off the wave that was there.
Should be 6 grubs though for Karmine Corp, so if they do get some time with the towers, they can shred through them. Grubs a little bit fake as an objective at times, unless you can get a lot of them. The skies descend as the killer instinct goes in from Noah, but the Singularity locks him up for the moment. Saken locked up as well with the Magnet Storm, and even though Targamas is here, they can't protect their mid lane, and Noah flashes away, but in goes Cabo, the Ruthless Predator, looking for the stun. Oscarinin joins as well with a TP of his own and his 2 kills over to Fnatic. Alongside that, a couple of plates in this bot lane.
And that was the problem that we were talking about. If you're going to commit Bo to that top side and they see him with the Aatrox, cool, we can go for the dive. We know you don't have the numbers down here. Now, Razork going to be able to make his way back out, but nicely done by Fnatic, just punishing KC being overextended on the map.
It's always the difficulty when your jungler is taking objectives. You can see skies descend, good stun, good knock up onto Noah, but they just have so much time. It doesn't matter that Noah's CC'd for that long.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of CC that's in Fnatic's camp as well is just absolutely absurd. And yes, you get Cabo in, but it's matched by the Aatrox. Upset again isn't in a position to try and follow. And this isn't like Upset's problem. Upset should have been covering mid-wave, but you had to then forego bot terror for Saken in lieu of getting Void Grubs. But because you try and play off of too many different points on the map, KC get punished, and Fnatic reading it well.
It's one of those, just play safe. And it's said as a meme, right? It's like, oh, just play safe. Yeah, I got tower dived by 4 people. It's like, yeah, just play safer. Just back off. You know, if you're playing through mid and your jungler's topside doing the grubs, maybe you shouldn't be trying to defend the bot lane tier 1, even if you have Targamas there to help you out as well. We'll keep an eye on that for KC through this game, whether they're overextending when Fnatic have a numbers advantage, because that's really what professional macro seems to be about at the moment. It's how are you playing side lanes, how many people are visible for the enemy team, and can you find an instant engage on someone who is going to be outnumbered? Oscarinin here is going to be outnumbered on the top lane. Will he be able to survive? For the moment he will, but a dive could materialize after Bo has finished this Rift Herald.
But Cabochard isn't going to be as lucky on the opposite side, so thank you for pointing.
Exactly, Death Charge comes in, Cabochard looks for the stun, but he's dead. Why are you here with this tower? The tower's gone, and now you're giving them 300 gold and a turret to boot. And it opens up the dragon, which was probably going to be taken by Fnatic anyway because Bo's topside, but it just makes it that much easier for them.
Yeah, you kind of got to think of it in terms of like taking a turn, right? So if you look at, hey, Karmine Corp are committed to the top side, but they're taking their turn to kill Rift Herald with Bo instead of diving onto Oscarinin, who was overextended. But instead on the bot side, Cabochard thought he'd be fine because, oh, they're going to use their turn for dragon. Instead, they killed him, and now because Cabochard's off the map, they kind of gain a little bit of extra time, so they can gain another turn to then turn into dragon. So it's a lot of these kind of like back and forth moments, but unfortunately it's Karmine Corp who are coming out on the terrible side of this.
Yeah, and for Fnatic, they're very happy with how the sequence has gone, right? You know, you get the second dragon of the game. It is a Hex Soul, one of the more powerful souls at the moment, and they're going to look to dive Oscarinin. Concussive blows will go down on him in just a second. There's the first stun, Permafrost for the follow-up. Glacial Fissure going down, and there's a good kill from Karmine Corp. Oscarinin thought he was safe because Razork was in the area, but again, he's got 2 people up top lane should he be defending this tower.
And that's also the downside of this matchup, is that you don't get to go for the Merc threads because you either lose the matchup against the Renekton in the top lane, or you lose it as soon as you leave lane. And as you can see, with all the Permafrost, with all the stacks that are coming through from Targamas, the CC chain is just too long. Maybe if he got another Q and got the heal off of it, with the Q3, he could have survived for Razork to get down there, but unfortunately that CC just too hot to handle.
Still though for Fnatic, 2,300 gold ahead, 2 dragons to the good. Grubs, all 6 of them went over to Karmine Corp. Where are we in terms of items? Well, both the AD carries have a static shiv. Quelle surprise. Noah is on his way to his next item with a pickaxe and a recurve bow. The crit cloak completed for Upset as well. Both mid laners have their first item. Saken going for the Rylai's and Humanoid going for the Seraphs. Variations on a blue staff in the mid lane. Gandalf wouldn't be happy. It's Gandalf the white, Gandalf the blue. There is a blue wizard. I can't remember his name, and that disappoints me. So I'm sorry.
I just wish I knew what Tom Bombadil was.
Oh, he is.
That's all I want to know.
Tom Bombadil he's greater than all.
I know.
He is truly, he's basically god status. But yeah, that's one of those references that are so niche that even I'm like, can I talk more about Tom Bombadil? Because I really want to, but I probably shouldn't. Humanoid caught out a little bit here in the top lane, but he's going to back off. Puts the control ward in the bush. Command attack giving him that little bit more vision. All of KC are on the top side of the map right now, and Humanoid respects that. He knows that Oscar's showing on bot wave. Does have TP. Razork and Jun on their way as well, but they were spotted on this ward that's just by the blue. There's a TP ward behind as Oscarinin comes in to join the fight. The tower will fall first. Jun going to depth charge away. Glacial Prison went a mile wide. There's the damage coming out as well as Targamas dashes forward. Magnet Storm to catch out Targa. Oscar distracting Karmine Corp as Targa went a little bit too deep. Oscar in it now. In from the side, it's Fnatic getting to open up. Noah dashing forward. The Star Search not enough. Upset has to dash the wall, and already 3 kills over to Fnatic. Another TP from Humanoid as he looks to cut off the escape. It's all on Upset, but he can't find anything. Caught in a dredge line and like a fish in a trap. He is shut out by Fnatic. 4 for 1 in the exchange.
Fnatic finish off Karmine Corp. Hook, line, and sinker. The fact that you get the TP coming through from Oscarinin in a fantastic spot, they play it very, very slow. Watch how well Fnatic back up out of this. So you can see as this engage comes through, Razork flashes down, hops over the wall, and now Karmine Corp are playing this chasing game to try and get onto Fnatic. But the second Oscarinin gets into a position where Saken and Cabochard have to deal with him, that's when Fnatic pounds start to move forward. And it's so easy for them to turn around because, again, Karmine Corp very separated on the fight. Too many opportunities, too many options, and Karmine Corp essentially end up with choice paralysis.
Yep. And it's one of those things where in the initial moment, it looks like Humanoid is doing too much to try and defend that tower. But you cheat tempo, you cheat your turn by teleporting behind the opposition and allowing that quick move for Oscarinin, which then shuts Karmine Corp out of the battle. Bo will fall as well, he's locked up on his Gromp. And on Gromp, it looks like Fnatic are going to take this game. 5,000 gold ahead, Drake up in a minute for them. Will be Sol point for them as well. With the Ginsu's complete on Noah, he is well on his way to his third item.
Yeah, and I think, again, it was just kind of greedy from Karmine Corp on the top side as well. They didn't really have a huge amount of vision, and they get caught. Now, on the bottom side, they don't really have a huge amount of vision, they get caught. And it feels like Karmine Corp aren't really setting up the control that they need in the areas. They're trying to put pressure, and Fnatic are just punishing exceptionally well. So as we start to go in now to, Dragon in 40 seconds, it's, okay, look at the bot side. Just blue wards littered all over the place down there, and it makes it very easy now for you to say, hey, we're going to set up a choke point where you try to walk in the river, right? You got to go through Razork. You got to go through Humanoid, who's just going to leave his sphere in the middle of that choke point, and it's impossible to try and approach.
It's actually one of the worst parts about Rift Herald as well. I love Rift Herald. You can ride Shelly, get the towers, etc. It's quite a good objective if used appropriately, but it means you don't have a sweeper as the jungler. And so it's all on Targamas to deny as much vision as possible. Now that Bo has charged his Rift Herald in and will be able to dash out if anyone gets any closer, he now has the sweeper, and by pushing the Rift Herald through mid, they get the prio mid, which means he can now join up with his team, connect with them. The hook goes in, Oscarinin looking for flank here as well as Cabochard pots of Dominus. He's on a control ward. Shockwave hits on 2. Targa with the Glacial Fissure as well, but Noah's already dominating. Cabochard going in with Ulyss's Predator, and Humanoid's gonna fall. Cabo's already got one as well with Jun going down. Razork with a permafrost will be stunned up. Bo on the front line, but it's all on Noah, and Oscar now is Upset has to dash and dance his way around the fight. Saken going in with the Astral Flight as Razork, Oscar, and Noah are on the retreat. Upset and the rest of Karmine Corp can keep them at bay. Upset and Saken, but Fnatic still able to get out at a numbers advantage at the end of the play.
Just about, though. Nicely done from Upset and Saken to keep Fnatic at bay, because I was about to praise Fnatic. I liked how they, again, wait for Karmine Corp to start to move up out of this choke point and river. So you have a lot of setup where it's going to come through with Jun, lands the hook. You get the shockwave as everyone's trying to move through this small area. Then Razork comes through with the crash down. But as he, Cabochard setting up a great front line, Saken with a massive stun, and Upset is just untouched, getting so much damage across multiple members there with his positioning. So just not enough to try and finish off Upset and Saken, who are tearing through, as you can see, Oscarinin's health bar there.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Karmine Corp, they didn't have a smite left after the fight finished, because they had the better health bars, they had more, and if they could have turned for the dragon, if they had that smite, they would have gone for it, but there was always the risk of Razork just jumping the wall and smiting it away under their very noses. Third dragon now secured for Fnatic. Upset, I think, was only an item and a half during that fight as well. If he'd been at 2, if he'd been at 2.5, could have played out very differently. Still a 5,000 gold lead for Fnatic. Karmine Corp setting up vision on this top side. The Scuttle Crab has spawned. Gives you a big vision cheat if you can take it. Razork looking for it. Bo will step forward, look for the smite, but he can't get in range. And now Fnatic know that area is littered with Karmine Corp wards, and they'll clear a few of them out at least. Mid lane tower is going to fall though. Karmine Corp getting their third of the game.
Yeah, I think it's actually a good trade for Karmine Corp, because not only do you get the mid lane tower, you kind of get to push Fnatic up into their top side. It also opens up Saken to know, hey, look, I can free farm in this bot side. And that kind of seems to be the port of call here for Karmine Corp is, all right, let's just try and get this Sol rolling, get as many stacks to him as possible, give as many waves to him. And at the moment, you can see in those fights, Saken's getting to a point where he's going to be absolutely obnoxious. And yes, Humanoid will also get stronger. He can have these big shockwaves. But when you're going this build from Noah, he has some good scaling, but it's going to be matched by Upset as you get towards the later portion of the game. So Fnatic still have to make sure they are cleaning out this game, and I feel like Dragon's going to be that way, but there's still moments here for Karmine Corp if they can set up a team fight correctly.
Yeah, and Saken's at 250 stacks, 245 right now. Upset is at 2.5 items with the last Whisper complete. Noah going Terminus was changed slightly, so you can stack it a bit quicker. 3 stacks on it in total, 3 auto attacks on enemy champions. Gets that stacked up for you. Oh, it's 6 technically, because you can stack either side 3 times. But yeah, you know what I mean. It has the light and the dark aspects to it. Far side alteration used. A couple of wards, or at least one just outside of the pit, would give vision if Fnatic path through the top side into that Baron. At the moment, Saken is matching Oscar down towards the bottom lane. He gets out of vision now, though. Humanoid pushed out top, so that wave's going to crash, and that will be lost experience and gold for Karmine Corp unless someone answers it. Looks like at the moment they are sacking some of the XP on top wave. Cabo on his way to catch it. Saken still staying out of vision, needs to be careful because Fnatic were looking to see if he overextended on this side lane. They outnumber Karmine Corp on this bottom side of the map right now. Good thing for KC is how quickly Upset can move between the lanes. TP a possibility here behind as Jun tries to clear out the control ward, but look at this, Noah's already down to half HP. Targamas coming in with a Glacial Fissure as well. Oscarinin shut down, good collapse from KC. Razork, Glacial Prison, that's the next Smithy if I've ever seen one, but Razork, the Magnet Storm will only buy him a second as he is shut out of the fight by KC.
That's Byron for Karmine Corp though. Humanoid going to try his best to get some poke down just to try and stop them, but great TP flanking. The damage onto Noah completely takes him out of the fight before it starts.
Really good collapse by Karmine Corp, and good patience as well by Saken to step back, allow Fnatic to push up to that turret, and now Karmine Corp have swayed the game. 2 minutes on the Drake, the Sol for Fnatic, but Karmine Corp will be holding a big purple buff when it does begin. Let's have another look at this, because Fnatic do just overextend into KC.
Yeah, they end up going too far forward when you don't have Humanoid here. Watch, he's trying to push in mid, so the quick collapse by Karmine Corp and the damage by moving that bit too far forward just sets up beautifully then for Saken to honestly be an absolute terror on this Aurelion Sol. He's been playing exceptionally well on this pick and punishing Fnatic, when realistically that should have been Fnatic kind of getting a bit of a clean sweep. Like, Fnatic have been doing a great job of setting up their vision, playing around it on this bottom side of the map, making sure that Karmine Corp, because Targamas and Bo aren't kind of working in synergistic motions to get that control, the vision control down, they're able to punish. But when you overextend like that, you're just giving those moments to Karmine Corp when you've kind of ticked all the boxes, but you just kind of forgot to put your signature at the bottom.
Happens. Sometimes you just skip a step, right? And that's exactly what Fnatic did there. Didn't give Humanoid time to push forward. A minute on the Drake. Karmine Corp holding the buff for another 2 minutes time. Now set up their vision down towards this bottom side. Oscar's pushing in top. That's seen by KC. Wave pushed by KC in that bottom lane, and will continue to push towards that turret. You can see the Fnatic pings being like, okay, someone needs to deal with this at some point, but Karmine Corp are pinging it out as well, saying someone's going to try and deal with this at some point. Maybe we can catch them as they move through their jungle. Saken now backed to answer Oscar, and Humanoid is shadowing Oscarinin in that top lane. Will Saken overstep?
But this is the thing. Saken can just easily clear it this wave. You can see Oscarin's going in. Targamas is here, though, to try and answer for this. Wave will die on top, whereas you Baron creeped waves on bot side. So this is actually a bit of a mistake from Fnatic. Karmine Corp should just keep pushing.
Shockwave on Saken, he was a little bit too far forward, has to burn the flash. Karmine Corp could have kept pushing, as you say, but instead they get the reset off. The Drake up in 10 seconds time. They have pretty perfect vision around it, even in towards that red side of Fnatic's jungle. Razork now going to try and sweep some of it away. They have 3 sweepers, Oscarinin with the 3rd. He's going to base and be able to join up with the team. Karmine Corp have started up the Drake. Fnatic, we've only got 3 members here right now. Saken's on his way as well. There's a double TP invested. They want to try and fight for this. Dragon down to 2,000. Smite secured by Bo. Jun going in with the hook. Cabochard with the dominance. Oscar on the flank though. The Magnet Storm finds 2. Saken has no flash. He'll bring down the skies, but is it enough? It's Upset untouched on the backline. Able to get 2 so far as Noah. It's falling lower. It's only 1, but Noah might be next on the menu. Upset takes him at 1,000 gold in his back pocket. There's the triple. He's looking for more. We thought Smolder was the Penta Master, but Upset might be looking for one on Zeri again. The old tunes are the best, it seems. Targamas has to dash the wall. Humanoid flashing forward. Shockwave on target. He'll go down. And Fnatic are able to find 1 in response. Saken already fell earlier in the fight. Bo able to dash away. Oscar still on the chase with the World Ender here, and Bo doesn't really have a hope in hell of surviving in the end, a 3 for 3.
It's the greed that ends up killing Karmine Corp at the end of this. So great setup here where Upset, because Razork and Oscarinin all dive into the middle, you actually get Upset flashing away to create space. Oscarinin then completely abandons this top side, which means that Saken has a safe spot to get into position for. And this looks fantastic. But watch Saken. Saken goes to chase Oscarinin at the top of this. Oscarinin actually managed to pick off Saken on the back line, which keeps him alive. Targamas tries to help out there, but he's not going to be able to do anything, so Oscarinin just escapes across. Humanoid still very, very healthy, chases Cabochard out, and now Targamas is completely overextended, so Bo has to try and help him. And then this flash from Humanoid, really, really good. At this point, Bo should have just given up on trying to save the support, but in trying to do too many things at once, they actually end up giving over all those extra kills to Fnatic.
Karmine Corp have fought long and hard to get back into this game, and I think they really are there now. Obviously, Sol still a looming threat for them. Fnatic only need 1 more Drake to secure it, but the gold was 5,000 a few moments ago. Now it's down to 3. Karmine Corp have 4 items on Upset as well, who's only died once this game. Cabochard pushing in the bot lane. Humanoid no flash, remember, from that previous play. Top lane, relatively neutral right now. It looks like it will push towards the KC base pretty soon, and Oscar's going to help it on its way. The reinforcement wave arriving, and Oscar reinforcing it as well. It's like when a general arrives in the middle of a battle. It's like, yes, we can march forward. Young minions. Karmine Corp answer though.
And then immediately you're like, wait, where are you going? wait, no, they're coming.
I mean, that sounds very much like the generals.
Actually, that is right.
They're usually about 20 miles behind the battle lines anyway, aren't they? But yeah, for the moment, it's just that bounce of the waves. We'll see which team decides to invest where. Humanoid currently catching bot wave. Showing on the wave means that Oscar wants to back away from top because he would be very much outmanned by Karmine Corp, who are setting up around this Baron. Spawns in a minute and a half's time. AD carries the ones to watch in these fights. Obviously, Humanoid can have a huge impact with the Shockwave, obviously Razork with the Magnet Storm, but if Noah is alive longer than Upset, Fnatic have probably won the fight. If Upset's alive longer than Noah, Karmine Corp probably won the fight.
Yeah, I do think Saken has an awful lot of damage here though as well. So like you do have to be careful of the Aurelion Sol. We got to see a little bit in that last fight as well. If you can position correctly, Humanoid's kind of like a one and done with the Shockwave. Whereas I think if you have Saken up at the end of it, that DPS is still something to be feared. So definitely Noah and Humanoid kind of want to one-shot a lot of this front line, or even if they can get access to the back line. But I think for Karmine Corp, there's still options here as you start to push forward, especially like, as you say, Upset, nearly full build, and Saken is lagging behind, but the fact that you're ASOL and getting this time to scale and farm up, and Karmine Corp are giving you that, you're in a decent enough spot.
And Oscar also, you can see, he's done quite a lot of damage this game. Obviously, top laner's damage tends to be a bit inflated from, you know, hitting each other in the head in lane, but Oscar with his flanks has to be something that Karmine Corp are very aware of. Fnatic don't have a huge amount of vision. In fact, none really past the midway point of the map. They still haven't cracked the tier 1 in mid either. Karmine Corp, with the Baron up in 6 seconds time, they have total control of that area right now. Fast side alteration though in the pit, no control ward in there from KC, means that Fnatic now have the knowledge that it hasn't been begun.
Karmine Corp aren't sure what to do though. Saken now showing on that top side, that's where you're getting the TP from Humanoid in towards the mid. They want to try and separate Karmine Corp. Look at Jun's positioning. Wants to make sure that he's not giving an opportunity for Saken to come into a decent spot. And now they're going to set up the Baron, yeah. Because, I mean, Saken separated from his team.
Bo with the sweeper. Doesn't spot it yet. Where's the vision? Targamas needs to get over here. He's the only guy with the wards that they've got. The control ward now goes into the pit. Targamas stepping forward. 3,000 on the Baron. Oscarinin keeping Bo at bay. Bo jumps in, but the secure from Razork is sublime. Razork now diving into the backline. Noah there as well. Upset already locked up, and the shutdown comes out. And I said it, if Upset dies first, I think the fight might be over, and I think it already is. Noah flashing forward for a triple. Could have given him the penta. He doesn't get it in the end. Jun and Oscar rounded out a full house for Fnatic.
Karmine Corp greeted Forsaken on the wave. They move him up the top side to try and be the one that's going to be in a position to go for it, but it means that he ends up separated from the team. Oscarinin does a great job of making sure he can't get into the fight, and as you say, then the one damage dealer is Upset. They target him down beautifully, and that could be the game for Fnatic.
Might just be game. Jun dives to a tower as Oscarinin, Razork, and Noah are now pushing in. How long have we got? 12 seconds on Targamas. It could just be over. Noah taking down these Nexus towers incredibly quickly, and it was close until it wasn't. Fnatic rounding it out with a solid 2-0 on the week.
Nicely done from Fnatic, and again, like, solid team fighting, decent decision making. There was one or two missteps here or there, but overall you can see they just had a better understanding of how they want to try and play at the map, play it through their composition, and they catch Karmine Corp out on multiple occasions.
Just a few mistakes as well from KC. We talked about lane assignments. It felt like at that moment both bot was pushing in, top was pushing in. You can vote for one of the Fnatic players in your player of the game though. At LEC on X, Razork, Humanoid, and Noah, your options. Noah had the best scoreline, Razork had some good engages, Humanoid hit some good shockwaves. You decide. I mean, that's kind of how votes work.
That's the beauty of it.
That's the beauty. I don't have to commit to anything. I can just be fluffy. Anyway, we're going to go do a short break. Afterwards, Humanoid will be here with an interview. We'll see you later. Woo.
Red Bull gives you wings.